Hello, I'm Kylie Ross-Seibert. I'm joined today for our Retailers podcast by my co-host, Joey, and a special guest today, Kaycee McCoy and Shizuka Benton from Pawsnickety Pets in Norfolk. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. So just to start, could you explain a little bit about, both of you and who you are and what you do in Pawsnickety Pets?
Sure. So Pawsnickety Pets is a joint venture between myself and Shizuka. We are longtime friends and both business owners of completely different companies. Shizuka has a consulting company where she helps small business owners scale by automating some of their processes and putting systems and processes in place. So she's all operations management, that kind of thing. And then I have Create Captivate, which is digital marketing and graphic design. So for years, we have tossed around all kinds of business ideas. We've always wanted to have a business partnership together someday. And it was just a matter of waiting for the right opportunity to be kind of thrown right in front of us. So that was Pawsnickety. Pawsnickety used to be under another brand, another ownership called the Dog Bone. And we purchased her inventory, rebranded, created our own partnership. And so now we're offering holistic pet supplies, dog food, cat food, treats, supplements, and accessories and apparel.
Oh, for you. That's cool. I like that. So when did all this happen?
Very quickly and very recently.
Yeah.
So we signed all of the paperwork and took ownership on the 30th of November, right, Shizuka? And
Yep, it was.
And then we had our opening on the 10th of December.
Wow.
So
wow.
a 10-day turnaround time. It was a total whirlwind.
I was going to say, how did it sort of present to you as this opportunity? Did you know the owner?
I did know the owner. I knew her through another local organization, the Ghent Business Association. And she had mentioned to me casually one day that she was going to close down the business, that she was no longer able to continue with it. And so I went to Shizuka and I said, okay, we've talked about this, we've joked about this, we've had all kinds of ideas. Do you want to really do this? Like, really do this? I think she thought I'd lost my mind for a second, but what was your answer?
I said, let me look at the numbers.
Smart.
Yep, and I am that person. I said, let's look at the worst case scenario, because we always have to look at it that way sometimes when starting a new venture, especially. Is it going to, yes, it'll be fun, but is it going to be worth it? Mm-hmm. So we ran some numbers, some scenarios, which is what I do with my own consulting firm for my clients. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't something new. And the numbers made sense. The forecast, the past history, the demographics, the marketing, everything made sense. So I told her, yes, let's do it.
Nice.
And
so
even like
with COVID, did you have to, with COVID, right? What kind of role did that play in making this decision? I imagine it's got to be really risky feeling to start a business during COVID.
It is definitely. There's some risk there for sure. Mm-hmm. The bulk of our business eventually should come from online sales, though. Okay. So one of the first things we started doing while our awesome husbands were renovating the inside of the space, doing all the painting and redecorating and all of that, we started working on inventory. And she already had the previous owner. Part of the agreement was that we would get the website. And she already had the e-commerce platform in place, but it just wasn't built out to the ability that it could have been. So we started going through and taking every single item and putting it on our website. So a bulk of that should come from website sales.
Yeah.
You guys definitely have the background to support that very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's with Shizuka's operations management finance brain and my creative brain. That's what we thought. That's why we've always thought we could really do something amazing together if we ever had the opportunity.
Yeah, and 2 husbands to build it out for you too. It sounds like
Handyman
doing
to help
everything in
doesn't
house.
hurt.
Exactly, with their full-time jobs. So they had their own full-time jobs during the day, and they would get off work and come to the store, and they would just start painting, building, anything that they can do to get the store ready. It was incredible. We're very thankful.
Yeah, very, very thick. They are very patient, kind men. We were all at the store those first 10 nights, straight through until 10:30, 11 o'clock every night. It was a lot of late nights, a lot of long hours to get here.
So with you trying to sort of build up the online stuff, I mean, you've still got the brick and mortar. Who works in the store?
All of us. So right now I'm here this morning. And so we're just trying to take it week by week of who can block out some time and be here and take care of it to start. And so we're shuffling back and forth between mostly Shizuka and myself. And then the very patient, kind husbands are the backups in case we have an emergency. Neither one of us can be here.
Oh, that's good. So they know the business as well as you, or can cope
Right.
at least to manage in the interim.
Absolutely. Yeah, actually Shizuka's husband, Tom, is our buyer for the store. So he's got a sales background. So he's really ingrained with it. And my husband, Chance, is just excited to meet all the dogs. That's what he cares about most. So
That's what this is all about. A ploy to meet dogs.
there are perks.
And it sounds like, I mean, I know, like my sister has a dog, and it is like her child. I've got a dog, and it's not quite like my child, but it's, close.
Right.
So it seems to be all about like relationships and being able to, sort of promote that relationship with your pet. So how do you do that when you're trying to sell online?
I think that's where a lot of, we're going to have to really tap into video, especially goes. Just ways that we can really express the love between the pet and the pet owner, and how much humans treat their animals just as a part of their family, and how you want to give them the very best of anything you can. So we've got some fun, creative ideas cooked up that we're working on and trying to roll out slowly.
I presume that comes from your background.
Yep, that's definitely my realm.
Yeah. Well, can you briefly just explain what your background is and what is brought to the table with this?
Yeah, so my background is I've been the CEO of Create Captivate Digital Marketing for the past 4 years. And so we're full service marketing and design. So everything from websites, graphic design, logo design, to video and everything in between. So SEO, Facebook, Instagram, social media, all of that.
Nice. A lot of strengths there. Shizuka, did you have is this your guys' first brick and mortar kind of place?
Yes, absolutely.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed between this new venture and then your previous or your other jobs?
Well, this is a venture where we, especially having a physical space, is something that we sell. I think Kaycee and I both are very familiar with service industry.
Mm-hmm.
So we're providing services to our clients 99% of the time. And so with that being said, I think selling a thing and not a service, that's a big difference that I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Nice. What are your plans for that? How do you guys plan on tackling that challenge?
Education has been huge. So we've already had 3 talks with our vendors, and our vendors are not just people that we buy items from, they are the professionals in the field. So they can give us so many different education materials. Each Zoom has been 2 hours of them going over some of the products. And because we try to carry different products that are organic, human grade, what are the difference? Why does it make you so special? They can beautifully tell us the story of the brands and food. And we just took notes, recorded, and learning. So when our customers come in, we can tell them this is the difference. This is why you need to get this food, not that, because it's going to make your dog healthier. Or in some cases, it cures diseases, depending on what kind of food is inside of these things. So that's what the biggest thing has been, is to just learn everything, items, processes, talk to people, learn from people who's done this before. That's what we've been kind of concentrating on, to get over the fact that, selling things are very different than selling services.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you're in charge of the sort of the, I suppose, the forecasting and the different scenarios of, the financial side. But with COVID, I mean, I've been listening to some of the financial experts, and even they can't predict what's going to happen. So, I mean, have you thought of, like, what's the worst case scenario versus, that there's, everyone's going to take the vaccine and it's all going to go away in the next month? Like, how do you do that?
Well, with the worst case scenario, of course, we meant by like a forecasting the number of items that we might need. And of course, we put into consideration, if the businesses are going great, then we can hire somebody. That's an expense that we can take on, but maybe we don't take that expense on if the business is not doing well. Maybe Kaycee and I and the two husbands stay at the store a little bit longer to cut on the payroll cost. There's certain things that we thought of to take of, I guess, the forecasting. But with that being said, we still came up with the worst case scenario number. And we made sure we sat down and talked, and is this the number that you're comfortable losing at the end of the venture, however long that we forecasted? Let's say a year and a half that we forecasted. Are you okay losing this number? Will you still be okay? And our number, fortunately, yes, it was. So that's what made the decision at the end. But there's some things here and there that we can tweak because of this weird scenario that we're in. But I think we just do the best that we can and rely on curbside pickup, online sales, social media, all these great things that we have that's available to us. Thank you to internet. I think that's the best that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of that too is that one of our key factors in making the decision to do this is that we are able to finish out the previous owner's lease term. So our maximum commitment, our minimum commitment, I guess, is a year and a half. So we're like, we can do anything for a year and a half. We can figure this out and deal with whatever life throws our way.
Okay, so you kept on the leases in, but you're paying off, obviously the regular rent.
Right.
Okay. Right. And you're in Ghent.
Right. Yeah, we're in Ghent, over near the corner of 21st and Hampton Boulevard.
Okay. So obviously there is you've got a captive area there too. I mean, there's a lot of residential, families with pets, so you've got that potential for the brick and mortar as well as online. So, I think it's a good spot that you've chosen. Well, you didn't choose, when you chose to pay in business. So,
Yeah, that was a part of it too. Is that Ghent is a very pet friendly community, and so we are very excited to be a part of this community, particularly. And just sitting here and working here over the past couple of weeks, just how many people walk up and down this street walking their dogs, and how many dogs now we see that run up to the door and are going crazy because they can smell the treats inside.
Yeah. You guys are right near the ERT, right? Almost across the street, because the ERT is right across on Hampton. That's a big dog walking area. If I think you guys are near the there's that vet nearby.
Yeah, there's a vet nearby. Where there's the Howard Hanna office that's right there. Yes.
The ERT, by the way, for those who don't know, is the Elizabeth River Trail, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I recently got a bike, so I've been exploring that area.
Yeah.
I ride by you guys' new place every weekend.
And
nice.
A dog. Joey, you've got a dog.
We do. We'll have to pop in and see what you guys are selling.
You should.
Oh yeah.
We've got treats. We'll set some special treats aside
There we go. Good.
So since you opened, has anything that, you've had to adjust because it wasn't what you expected, or something came out of the blue that you've gone, oh gosh, we just don't know what to do, or like, how have you handled things?
I mean, I feel like it's definitely been an adventure. That's a hard question to answer, honestly, because the past couple of weeks have been just full of surprises and adaptations along the way. Renovating a storefront was a lot of work and a lot, it's kind of like a home renovation where you have this one project you want to do and it turns into 7 really quickly.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that.
What kind of changes did you make to the store?
We painted. So it used to be very dark in here. It was all, the walls were brown, the pegboards were brown, the crates everything was in were all brown. So we painted it white. It took 3 coats of paint to cover up the brown. That was one of the unexpected things. And we have green and blue and like a purpley pink color. And so we just put pops of color everywhere. We took all the crates, and the husbands built all these really cool displays to put all of our products in. And we rearranged a lot. So
Well, I think, I've seen some photos of it, but I'm sure people can go and visit the website to go and have a little look.
oh yeah, definitely.
Media too, so that'd be good. So what do you think so far has been your favorite thing?
For me,
the dogs.
The dogs!
Oh, yeah.
We've got to pet so many beautiful fluffy dogs.
What
kind?
Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, yesterday's highlight was a 6-month-old golden doodle puppy that came in, and I did not want to let him go. I was this close to just say, you stay here today or maybe forever.
What have you had any interactions with I guess longtime customers of the previous owner? How have they handled or reacted to the change?
Yeah, everybody's been really supportive. Actually, the couple who came in with the golden doodle yesterday were past customers, and we've had a handful of people that have come in and said, hey, we're happy to support you all. We're excited that you were able to take over and keep this store alive. So we've had a lot of great positive comments from people so far.
Nice.
Also neighboring businesses too, because we're a suite of one building, there's different businesses around us.
Mm-hmm.
And they've all come in and say, oh my gosh, you guys are, the place looks great. There's a couple of people who came in and purchased some items for the dogs, and they're very familiar. They were familiar with the previous owner, and we still are as well. We still communicate. We're still friendly. She helped so much when we built it out. So we're very thankful for her help. And because of that relationship, that everyone has been just, friendly. People have been stopping by and saying, hey, we heard and we just wanted to say hi. And yeah, the neighborhood has been amazing.
Nice. Yeah, you get that in Ghent a lot. It's a really close group of people. That's where I live, so I'm excited to see the place.
So another question I had was, there's so many big companies now that exist online and in, brick and mortar as well. Who do you see as your competitors?
Our competitors, we do have competitive pricing with those larger companies, but our competitors we sell products that only independent small retailers are going to get. A lot of our vendors do not sell to those big box stores. We have special products that you can't get elsewhere. So the other small time local kind of companies are true competitors, but I know you can get some of our products, from third-party sellers on Amazon and things like that. But we do have really competitive pricing for that. So,
Yeah.
So what are your long-term goals for the business? Where are you hoping this place takes off?
Oh, it's going to.
Love
I'll just say this won't be our last store.
Nice.
We have a game plan for multiple locations across the region, and maybe franchises across the country someday.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. Joey,
Very
you and I
exciting.
will have to save our bucks and
Yeah, franchise one.
Yeah.
I do like dogs.
no, that's a great ambition. And I'm sure, I mean, you guys seem to have the, the right headspace and, the goals and how to get there. So, and the
Yeah.
skills, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Both your backgrounds seem to meld so well.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
we work a lot together in our other businesses and help each other's clients back and forth and refer a lot back and forth. So we've known that we work really well together. And that's been when you asked earlier about favorite things, besides the dogs, my only other favorite thing so far is how much time I've got to spend with Shizuka. Like, we saw each other for 10 days consecutively, and we've been friends for almost a decade, and I'm like, this is really fun. I don't get to see you tomorrow, and I'm going to be so sad.
But that's also something that you don't necessarily know how it's going to be. You go from seeing someone as a friend, every so often, or even if it is every few days, but now
Right.
who makes the decisions, like that relationship is something you've got to be very clear up front, I think, to make
Definitely.
it work long term. So
Oh,
do you have any, like, how did you work that out? Or do you just go into it and say, well, we're friends, we'll be fine?
I mean, we definitely have confidence in each other, whereas I'm 100% confident in Kaycee's skills, and understand that she is so much better than I am in so many levels on certain things, and vice versa. And we have that understanding. We both have no issue saying, this is not my forte. I don't understand this. It's going to take me longer. It's going to take you shorter on time, or you're better at this. You do this. We're okay allocating to each other our weaknesses and admitting it, and working together to make sure that store comes first. We want to make sure we're both successful, and there's no room for ego or anything really. There's no room for any of that. It's just work, doing our best, and moving on and going.
yeah, I think that as long as we, keep an open line of communication and talk openly with each other and have an honest dialogue, we're going to be fine, which is the basis of our friendship over so long is, how do two people who are quite different in so many ways get along so well? It's all about communication and respect for each other.
Yeah. So if you were to give any advice to like budding entrepreneurs about opening their own business, what would be like your key piece of advice, each of you?
I think for me, I would just say wait for the right opportunity, because we have had so many different ideas over time, but we needed the right timing involved with it too. And right now it feels like the stars are kind of aligned for this to work out really beautifully. So just trusting your instincts is a huge part of that.
Shizuka?
I would say research for me. Just know what you're getting into first. Think of all the different scenarios first to make sure that that's something that that's something that you want to do. And if you don't have the answer, don't be scared to ask other people who have so much more experience than you, whether it's retail, whether it's the area you're familiar with. Ask around people, business owners, even friends. Everyone usually are very excited for your venture, and more than welcome to help and tell us what we need to know. So do the research, ask around, and know what you're getting into first.
I love both of your answers, and you guys, I can see how you guys work so well and complement each other, because Kaycee's answer is sort of just trust your gut, go with like your feeling, and then your answer is like very much like know what you're doing, research it, and it combines very nicely.
Yeah, that demonstrates exactly how this works.
Great. Oh. Joey, is there anything else you wanted to talk about or ask?
No, I think unless you guys have something else, I did want to point out that I love your email, the woof at pawsnicketypets.com. That's amazing.
Oh, one question is, how did you come up with the name? I mean, Persnickety,
Oh yeah.
obviously. Pawsnickety, very clever. did you see it somewhere, or is it something you brainstormed? Was that a Kaycee idea?
That was me. So we kind of had this conversation and meeting about, doing this business. And then that next morning, on a Saturday morning, I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm feeling creative. I've just got to run with it. So I started playing with names. I love alliteration and puns are two of my favorite things. So I started a spreadsheet, and I started just word association, putting different words together, and came up with Pawsnickety. And thankfully, my trick is I always have to look for the URL first. I have to look at the social handles, make sure that's all available. And I busted that out, and a rough concept of the logo and the color, chose the color palette within like a handful of hours that day.
And thankfully, it seems that Shizuka agreed with you.
She did.
I love it. I was also
like,
impressed.
I'm like, look what I've made. I hope you like it. Please don't crush my dreams.
That's awesome. Well, thank you both for being on, and I'm very excited about your store, and I wish you guys the best of luck with it. And
Thank you so much.
I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, we're really grateful for the opportunity to be on the Retail Alliance podcast. We appreciate your guys' support. Karen was here at our grand opening and provided the scissors and the ribbon and took a bunch of photos for us. And so we're just really thankful for the opportunity to be members and be a part of the community. So thank you so much.
Happy to help.